Welcome back. Here we are for year four. Year four of my heart of my career, my lessons, for you to take what you need to understand what I've been through, what I've done with other clients, but most importantly, the purpose of Exodus. So Exodus is my powerful one-on-one recalibration movement that has been formulated based on everything I've been through and everything I've helped my clients through, and most importantly, guided by God. So, if you haven't watched the others already, I highly urge you to watch them because then everything's going to kind of flow and make sense. So, if you've just discovered this, make sure you press subscribe and check out the other videos. You never know what message will land for you. Okay, so here we are with year four. This is 2019. This is the highs, the lies, and the birth of the cognitive switch. So here we are. And I am literally at a point now where everything is thriving. It's January and I've had my first 10K month. My clients are thriving, new clients are coming into my world, and I really thought 2019 was the year that I was going to hit seven figures. I thought, well, I'm healed now. I've done all my inner work, still working with one-on-one coach. I think we kind of come to an end around about January time, and everything was finally landing in place. But what I also realized was is that helping people build funnels was not the calling. It was actually the one-on-one. Now, the one-on-one that I was actually using at the time was very much a blended of my own wisdom and the scripts that I had actually picked up from my being an NLP practitioner and timeline therapy practitioner. And as I look back now, even before I became certified, my prices should have been high because of the results that I was helping clients achieve. But I was petrified of raising my prices. I was so scared and I didn't know how it was going to happen. And I remember in after that first month, the client that I was working with, she had done both packages and the money was coming in. And but she was like, Sam, I don't want to. She paid, she done the whole thing. I'm going to not follow you because you actually trigger me. And I was kind of like, I'm not quite sure what's happened here. Was that my fault? Did I do something wrong? No, it actually wasn't. She just wasn't ready to hold herself in her power. The work worked, but she wasn't ready to embody it. Then another client that I was working with, she was learning how to build the funnels. She was working with somebody else for her mindset work who was a master practitioner, but she kept coming to me really discombobulated. And I was kind of like, what's going on? I'm not quite sure what's kind of going on. And I was getting kind of frustrated for her to the point she said, you know what, you're so arrogant. I don't know who you think you are. You're just a practitioner. This other person is a master practitioner. And I was kind of like, yeah, but she's only charging £25 an hour. And so I judged this other coach because she charged less. And that's when I started to charge less. And I dropped all of my pricing because I was kind of like not feeling really worthy of receiving high amounts of income. But I tell you one thing, I had my boundaries and I stood my ground, even though she was so rude to me. So thank you very much for your message. I think it's safe to say that our contract is now come to a close, and I wish you all the luck in the world. And that was it. My EQ mastery had officially begun. So here I am in this new era. I'm ready to be a millionaire, and I was working with this one coach, and it just felt a little bit too much information. Is that right? No, no, no. I wasn't working with anyone at the time. I had found another coach, and she had basically promised that we'd become millionaires. So I had borrowed. I borrowed, I borrowed, I borrowed. Everything was on credit cards. I just borrowed, I borrowed, I borrowed. And it was now coming to August. I'd borrowed all of my money. I was living off debt. I had no clients coming in and I was freaking the fuck out. I had my first photo shoot, landed the cognitive switch because my mentor said, tell me what it is that you actually do. I said, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like I just click this switch inside their brains where one minute they're feeling really down and sad and then they're getting what they want. So she went, oh my God, the cognitive switch. I said, oh, brilliant. Got it trademarked. My brand had gone from pop pink and bright yellow to calm teals. I did like a really big branding program and I built the website and everything was kind of like flowing. But what it was is I was rushing. I was rushing to get the results. And when I didn't get it, no money was coming in, wasn't getting everything that I wanted. And instead of asking for help, everyone in this container was saying how they felt conned. And I found my get out clause. I found my get out clause. I said, well, I'm not paying no more. I'm not doing this no more. I'll be honest with you. I did not take responsibility of my behavior or the fact that money had run out. And it's not that I wasn't trying, because in fact, I had four calls in one day, and all four of them signed up. I had a 10K day in sales. And instead of owning that I did it, I gave the gratitude to my mentor. But I didn't get those calls from her help. I got those calls based on referrals, recommendations, jumping onto a call and giving them a clarity session. In fact, I had so many clarity calls that month, but I had four women sign up. And when I realized that actually, no, it had nothing to do with that, it was actually me, that's when I was like, I give my power away. Why do I do that? And I took it back. So I stopped working with this coach. I had my one on one clients. And then I had another clarity call with this gorgeous soul. She was about to sign up. And what happened is as she said, yes, I'm going to sign up, she had two different personalities. It was a bit bizarre. Her name was one, but her report was another. And she said she has split identity. And I did not know how to handle this. And I just thought, well, if I do my subconscious work on her, I could possibly help her heal. Then right at the very end, she said that she kept seeing things moving around, and I'm really looking forward to this. And when I mean I freaked the fuck out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. Call my coach. I said, oh my God, check this, check this, check this. Oh my God, you would not believe what happened, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so we got to the root of it, we released it, but then she said to me, just double check to make sure there's no other roots connected to it. And then boom, guess what happened? I had found out in that moment I had black magic put on me. I went back to the root cause of when I was 15. When I was 15, I went to India. I remember crying on the flight all the way there, thinking, I don't know why I feel so sad, but I don't want to go. The first day we got there, my mum said, do not leave your hair lying around. That woman who you just walked past is my cousin. She is a witch. That night, I woke up screaming and I felt like I'd been attacked, like someone had just put this blood, this curse over me. And I completely blocked it out. But in that moment, by being triggered by that event and saying, I need help, get rid of it, I unlocked actually the deeper problem. So what happened is from 15 to what, 40, even though I'd done all this subconscious work, I was peeling layers, layers after layers after layers after layers. And I was like, boom, there we go. There is the root cause of my problem. What the flying heck is going on? And I was able to release it and let it go. And I couldn't believe it. And then I realized how much my family are so spiritually coded with beliefs, superstition. And I said, I'm not doing this no more. This is not me anymore. So I signed up to become a master practitioner. I was like, right, I'm going to take this work deeper. Clients were coming in. I'm becoming a master practitioner. And the clients in my world were absolutely winning. They were absolutely thriving. And because I'd obviously taken it to the next level, they got to experience it. One of the women, she came into my world and she couldn't hear out of one of her ears. When we discovered where her timeline was, her hearing came back. She didn't know what kind of business she wanted. She's now gone on to build a thriving 4 to 5 figure month business, create refurnishing and redesigning furniture. She's so happy. She still sends me messages to thank me. Another woman came to me on the brink of suicide. And she basically said, Sam, I've had enough. We worked together. We found the root causes of all of her self-sabotaging behavior, why she couldn't speak to leaders and why she wasn't reaching out and getting to the level she wanted to. She now turns over 5 figures from her network marketing business. She is now a 7 figure property investor and she has a 7 figure portfolio. She owns her home. She is financially free. And the other client, who was the other client? I can't remember their success story. Oh, no, that was a year later. But the women were coming to me. Oh, I think it was another one. She just signed up again. And they were having their breakthroughs. They were having their aha moments. They were having their clarity. But there was one client who just could not take the work. She didn't want to face it. She was actually more content being in her self-sabotaging emotions and playing the victim than actually being free. Now that may sound harsh, but it's the truth. She didn't want to heal. She said, Sam, I don't want to do this work no more. I'll still work with you. Just jump on a call with me and we'll just talk. So I was like, okay, cool. So 2019 was not only the birth of the cognitive switch, It was the birth of me being fully in my power. I had decided I'm no longer going to teach people with funnels. I've become a master practitioner. I healed the root cause of my sexual abuse. I was working with clients and realized that my voice is really, really powerful. I'd also discovered that I needed to simplify. I also discovered that I also wanted to create a group program. And that's when I realized that everything that I've created and built, it's never outside of me, it's what's already within me. And by being able to release the emotional chaos, I was able to see, feel, hear more deeply, intuitively. And the work and the results that my clients were achieving just basically showed me, flipping heck, I can really help people here. And that's when I realized that had to stop trusting other people over my own gut instinct. And everything began to shift. Clients coming in, 2019 started off really good, had the major change, came back into my power, and then obviously we come into 2020. See, what I now know, especially back then, is that strategy was never the issue. But did I ever learn my lesson? No. Do you know how many more times I paid for strategy after that? You will find out from the next videos. But emotional leadership is learning how to have discernment. Emotional leadership is knowing how to hold yourself in your power with patience. Emotional leadership is knowing how to trust those intuitive nudges, those triggers, and working through them with someone who can hold you in your power. And it's also about recognizing that it's okay to say that you've done something and have the common courtesy to own it. Just because you paid someone and you're in their power doesn't necessarily mean the work came from them. What if the energy just shifted something in you, but you're allowed to take responsibility for it? So yeah, look, I got those free one-on-one clients whilst I was in that coaching container, but I wasn't even making my payments because I couldn't afford it. My debt was sky high. And then I left it. But then I did make the payment back. Discernment. I gave her every single penny back on a payment plan because integrity is huge for me and I don't like owing people any money. So that was 2019. Let me know what lands for you on that. And again, if this does feel like you're calling to come back home and fully into your power, if there was a message in there for you and you feel like, you know what, I am really recognizing myself here, then that's your soul telling you we have to jump on a call and we need to get you into your own exodus where you hold yourself in your power, you don't idolize, you don't give your power away, you just lead forever. Let me know how that lands and I'll speak to you soon.